welcome to the DKA channel where everything is what real. This is David, a registered nurse in the Seattle area. And if you're a nursing student or a nurse who have graduated nursing school and preparing for the Nclex, this is for you because I have with me here some wonderful registered nurses who are going to share their experience with you on how they prepared for the Nclex and how it went for them. So stay tuned and then let's get into it. We'll start with introducing our guest to you. Let's start from my closest left here. Let's just introduce herself to you. Hi.
Hi. My name is Yuko. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for about a year and a half now, and I work in the Seattle area, and I work on med-surg unit.
Thank you, Yuko. And we have...
Hi, everyone. My name is Itzel, and I'm also a registered nurse for about 2.5 years now.
Awesome.
And I work in the orthopedic unit.
Oh, yay. That's our first orthopedic nurse here. So, yeah, welcome. And then we have Diona, who was here in our first episode. He's back again because I think Diona plays a very important role as a nurse, experience as a nursing student and also as a nurse. So I have a reason why I brought him on. You will understand. So just stay tuned. Diona, tell us more about yourself.
Hi, my name is Dion. I'm a registered nurse here in Seattle. I work in a medical surgical unit.
Thank you guys for coming again to my show, and then also for accepting actually to talk about your experience, because it's not easy for people to actually open up to share their experience with you. So I'm very grateful, especially with the Nclex, since the challenges involve are sometimes things people don't want to talk about. But it's good for us to share so that people who are getting ready to take the Nclex will know how to prepare and then what would work best for them, you know. So thank you guys for coming. Yeah. All right. So let's start from you. I want to start from you itself. So first of all, let's start with what school did you go to, and do you feel your school prepared you enough for Nclex?
Well, the school that I went to, it was a part-time program. It was classes on Saturdays and clinicals on Fridays. It took 2.5 years.
Okay.
It was kind of a longer path, but I feel like it was just a perfect fit for me because I was a mother back then, and it was just perfect. But I do feel like the school that I went to, no names, but I just don't feel prepared, and I did feel at the end of the program that I wasn't ready to go into the field.
Okay.
Because it's just like part-time, and also we had the same structure from the beginning until the end, which is kind of nice, but I mean, it's just not enough, you know.
Not enough.
Yeah.
And what was your experience like? Do you feel your school prepared you enough? I think from my conversation with you in the first episode, you did mention that you went to your nursing school in the Philippines.
Yes.
And so do you feel the Philippine program prepared you enough? And do you have to take the Nclex? I should ask that first.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I have to take the Nclex here.
So that
and on top of that, I have to take the English exam.
Oh, wow. So if you didn't go to nursing school here and in the United States and you want to be a nurse, you have to take the English test, you said?
Yes.
And then after that, you have to also take the Nclex and pass. Okay. Yes. Okay. So how was that? Do you feel your school prepared you enough for the Nclex?
Yes, I think the school that I went to gave me all the knowledge that that I needed to become a nurse. But I think when I was taking the Nclex exam, I think I just don't know how to properly answer those questions.
Yeah,
looking back at it now, I always knew the answer to the questions, but the Nclex exam is a bit tricky. You have to use your critical thinking, which at that time I didn't have.
Thank you for being honest with that. And of course, I that's one thing, right? That we'll come to that later. But think like answering nursing school questions, you have to think a certain way to be able to answer, right? Like you said, critical thinking, but also nursing like I would say nursing style of questions, which is completely for me different from your prerequisites, how you answer questions in your prerequisites, which was like black and white.
Yeah.
Nursing school, it's like you choose wrong or right answer. Nursing school is like, which one is the best right answer?
Yeah.
So anyway, then you, right? You, for school, did you, like, where did you go to school, and you feel your school prepared you enough for Nclex?
Well, I also went to school in the greater Seattle area. My school, well, some of the classes that I took in nursing school prepared me. Some of the classes were useful, I should say, like pathophys and pathophysiology, pharmacology. Those were useful, but not really prepared for Nclex per se. So, and then most of the nursing school, not really. To be honest. Yeah. So basically, what I feel like looking back is like, so I had to do all this work, a lot of work to just get through nursing school. And then when I'm done with nursing school, I have to do this whole other work to do Nclex. So it's a whole different business. Yeah. That's how I feel like. In nursing school, we used the program, the quizzing, quiz bank and everything. And they said like, this is Nclex style quizzes, but it was just so different. And then, it was just not good enough. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Right? Yeah. So I think a lot of nursing schools use that kind of like quiz banks, online quiz banks, but they're just not similar enough to Nclex. And it just didn't prepare me.
Yeah. I remember for me, I feel like my school, kudos to them though. My school, I think, did a great job in preparing us for Nclex. I think the school, if you're a student, you feel like they are trying to pour hot water on you. They are always on you. It's the amount of assignment they give you. Sometimes you go like, is this real? I remember funniest stories from school, but yeah, a lot of pressure and a lot. But I think in all, if I have to say, did they prepare me for Nclex? I would say no, but did they prepare me well enough to answer Nclex questions? Yes. Right. Because they prepared me enough to know how to analyze Nclex questions. But did I feel like what they taught me had a very big impact on, I don't know, like in terms of the material? I think I would say maybe 50-60% yes. But your critical thinking, like Diona was saying, and how to process the nursing questions, I think they did a great job. And kudos to my school. So let's move on here and talk about the materials you use to prepare for Nclex, right? So you did your school in Philippines, came here, and took your English test, you said, and then the Nclex. What materials did you use to study for those exams?
So for the English exam, I think it helped me that before going back to Philippines to pursue nursing degree, I was living here in the US for I think 6 or 7 years at that time, and I think living here, speaking English all the time, kind of prepared me for that. So the English exam was the easy part, and then for the Nclex, I use one is the UWorld, and then the last one was the Kaplan. On the UWorld, I only use the question bank that they have, and then the Kaplan, I bought the whole set.
Okay, so you focus mainly on the Kaplan.
Yes,
and then some questions for the UWorld. Okay.
When I was studying so I took the Nclex 3 times. So first 2, I was using the UWorld question bank, and it feels like that didn't really help me. So the 3rd time I used Kaplan, and that kind of helped me properly answer questions on the Nclex exam. So
yeah, okay. And then Isel, you use what material did you use to study?
Well, I use 2. I would say 3. I will count this one in. At the end of our course, our nursing course, we were given a book, a pink book. I forgot the name. I think it's ATI.
ATI. Oh, okay.
ATI, yeah. So we were given ATI. It's a pink book that will prepare you for the Nclex. I started reading it, but I was like, no, I finished school and then I had to take my Nclex within probably a month. I said, well, reading the whole book, I will not absorb anything. I need something interactive that I can actually learn from. And then I heard about UWorld. I did purchase UWorld, but it was like over $200. And I started doing it, the quiz bank, and I just felt like it was too much work into the question and too much work into the rational that I was like, no, this is kind of boring and I am not learning anything.
That's for you.
Yeah. And then I started writing some of the cards to like maybe flashcards to remember the most important stuff, the material and all of that. And I was like, no, this is not working out for me. So I heard somebody else using something called Archer Review.
Oh, yeah.
And I tried that and I purchased that and it was like a $60, I think, including tax. And I was like, well, I really like this. And I downloaded the app and I started working on that on my breaks from work. So I was getting a 1 hour break. So I used the first 30 minutes to eat my lunch and then the second 30 minutes to do quiz bank. And that one really helped me a lot. And I felt when I took the Nclex, I felt like the Archer Review questions were like similar to the ones in the Nclex. So I would highly recommend Archer Review. And I actually told David, I recommended the Archer Review to David when he was getting ready for the Nclex. And I said, you should take this one because this one I will recommend more. I will highly recommend this one more than the UWorld. Yeah. And he did.
That is very true.
Yeah. So those were the the 3 ones that I used. I kind of read a quarter of the book of ATI. I did Archer Review 100%, and then I did probably another 50% of UWorld. And I only took it one time, and I passed it on the first one.
Awesome. And then Yuko.
Yeah. I did mostly UWorld. Mm-hmm. So I did quiz bank. I tried to do 100 questions every day. So I gave myself about 4 weeks before taking Nclex. So try to do 100 questions a day. Didn't really do that much, but so I did questions and I spent a lot of time reviewing the questions that I got wrong. So I think that's really important, like more than like doing many questions. Yeah. So reviewing the questions that you got wrong and then really see where you got wrong, like why you got wrong. So that's the most important part. And then really understanding the logic of it. And that's the most important part using UWorld. So with UWorld, just the question bank. And I also had the audio and notes from Mark Klimek review. I got that file from my preceptorship.
Okay.
Yeah, so she shared that with me. So I was going through the audio and then going through the notes. So I kept listening to it like over and over. Yeah, so that helped. Yeah.
So Mark Klimek and then
UWorld.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's also like a free video, like Mark Klimek review, like free video version, and then it's not Mark Klimek himself, but there's different professional lady going through like question style. So I watched that as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So, and I remember, like Isel said, Isel had taken her Nclex before me. So when it was getting to my time, I had known Isel for some time now. So I remember I invited over to, I think there was a shoot that we're doing, and she came over and I was like, what did you used to study for Nclex? And she did mention Archer Review. And on the other hand, I use only Archer Review. This is because I tend to get a little mixed up if I'm trying to dip my fingers into so many things. I felt like she used Archer Review and she passed, so I'm just going to focus on Archer Review. So the only thing I use is Archer Review. Somebody asked me to use UWorld. I didn't. I didn't look at it. But I have friends who use both the UWorld and Archer Review, and some of them told me that they feel like the Archer Review questions were more difficult and prepared them better for the UWorld, for the Nclex than the UWorld. And for me, I did only the Archer Review for I think 2.5 weeks right after graduation, and then I took the Nclex, and that was it for me. some of you have already answered this question, but I think my next question was going to be how many times did you take the Nclex, right? I took it. I was able to pass on the first try, which I'm grateful for because I wouldn't want to take it again. So let's start. You go. How many times did you have to take it?
I passed on the first try.
You passed on the first try. Also, are you
Same.
first try? And Dion, I think you had mentioned earlier that you took it.
I passed it on the third.
On the third try. Yeah. Do you feel like you struggled passing Nclex because you didn't go to nursing school here? Just like you're saying, in terms of how to answer the nursing questions, or do you feel like there was something else?
I think at first I thought that was the reason why. Not going to school here in the US, I was blaming that. But looking back at it, that's not really true. I was unable to pass those two first attempt on Nclex was because I don't know how to properly answer those questions. So after I found out that you're supposed to analyze not only the question itself, but also the answers that presented, then I was able to pass it with just a minimal question.
Oh, nice.
That was allowed.
Awesome. Yeah. And so, hey, if you are watching us and you want to watch a full version of this, please go onto to our podcast and you can get the full version of it where we go more into depth or details of this discussion. But I hope you enjoyed and if you learned something like all the materials that people use to pass the Nclex, and also that, it doesn't matter if you took it first, second, or third try. The reason why I actually brought Dion on set is because he presented me and I had always admired him because he's such a greatness. On the unit, everybody loves Dion. And so to hear that he took Nclex 3 times, I'm like, it doesn't matter how many times he took Nclex. Who is the smartest in the class that passed the Nclex the first time doesn't make you a greatness. And this is a big example right here. My big mentor, admire him. He's such knowledgeable. But so to realize he took the Nclex, I'm like, wow, such a greatness, right? So, don't let the Nclex doesn't really define whether you're going to be a good nurse or not. So if you're watching this, don't be discouraged. If it's this your third time, fifth time, whatever time they're taking the Nclex, keep going at it until you get it. You've heard some examples and the materials we use to study, right? Subscribe to this channel, share. Whoever is the first person to share, subscribe, and comment on this episode will receive a gift from us. It's a mug from this channel. It's a coffee mug from this channel. So you're going to receive that gift if you are the first person to comment, share, and like this video. All right. We'll see you in the next episode, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.
After we share, I think I'd rather stay inside, but you love me anyway. It's like nothing else.